The late Jurassic was a world sculpted by titans, an era where the very ground shook under the weight of creatures larger than anything that has walked the earth since. For the predators of this age, survival was a constant, brutal equation of risk versus reward. How could a single hunter hope to dominate a landscape of such colossal life? The answer may lie hidden, not in the strength of one, but in the strategy of many. Now, let's open the fossil record and resurrect the story of this Jurassic titan. The name Allosaurus, the different lizard, hints at its unique place in the dinosaur dynasty. Dominating the Morrison Formation of North America 150 million years ago, it was the apex predator of its time, a theropod perfectly engineered for lethality. Standing nearly 10 meters long and weighing over 2 tons, its design was a masterclass in predatory efficiency. Its skull was a lightweight framework of bone, strong yet flexible, built to withstand immense stress. Its jaws were lined with dozens of blade-like, serrated teeth, not for crushing bone, but for tearing through flesh with devastating effect. Powerful hind legs propelled it across the Jurassic plains, while its 3-fingered hands, each tipped with a formidable recurved claw, were ideal for grappling with struggling prey. For decades, our portrait of this animal has been that of a solitary hunter, a lone, opportunistic monarch, ruling its territory through sheer power and intimidation, much like a modern tiger. The fossil record, however, often presents us with puzzles that challenge our most established assumptions. In the heart of Utah lies a place of profound paleontological mystery, the Cleveland-Lloyd Dinosaur Quarry. It is an extraordinary bone bed, a concentrated snapshot of Jurassic life and, more pointedly, Jurassic death. When we first analyzed the site, it appears to be a classic predator trap, a muddy, inescapable mire that would have ensnared a struggling herbivore, its distress calls luring in carnivores who would, in turn, become trapped themselves. But as we dig deeper into the data, this simple explanation begins to crumble. The sheer numbers are staggering. Over 12,000 individual bones have been excavated, but the ratio of predators to prey is unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. For every one herbivore, like Stegosaurus or Camarasaurus, we find more than 3 carnivores, and one predator dominates this macabre assembly above all others. The remains of at least 74 individual theropods have been identified. Of those, an astonishing 46 are Allosaurus. They are not all the same size. The quarry holds the bones of massive, mature adults alongside those of agile juveniles. This demographic profile is deeply problematic for the lone hunter theory. A solitary animal, fiercely territorial, would not congregate in such numbers. The scene preserved in the stone is not one of disparate predators arriving one by one over time, but suggests a more entangled, communal catastrophe. Why are they here, together, in this place of death? What could have drawn so many of the Jurassic's top predator into a single, fatal trap? The Cleveland-Lloyd Quarry forces us to reconsider the very nature of Allosaurus. It presents the tantalizing possibility that this formidable carnivore was not always the lonely tyrant of our imagination, but perhaps a social animal, moving and hunting in a coordinated, lethal pack. The enigma of the Cleveland-Lloyd Quarry provides a powerful suggestion of sociality, but it doesn't provide the motive. For that, we must lift our gaze from the fossilized mire and survey the broader landscape of the Morrison Formation. This was an ecosystem defined by scale. It was the realm of the giant sauropods, herbivores so immense they were practically ecosystems unto themselves. Creatures like the long-necked Diplodocus, the towering Brachiosaurus, and the colossal Apatosaurus were the undisputed titans of this world. An adult sauropod could reach over 30 meters in length and weigh in excess of 50 tons, a walking mountain of flesh and bone. Their very size was their primary defense, a near impenetrable fortress against any would-be attacker. For a lone Allosaurus, a direct assault on a healthy, mature sauropod would not just be ambitious, it would be suicidal. A single, well-placed kick could crush its skull, and a whip-like tail, moving at supersonic speeds, could shatter bone and cripple the attacker instantly. Herein lies the powerful evolutionary driver for cooperative hunting. Faced with prey of such magnitude, the equation for survival shifts. The risk for a single predator is too high, the potential for failure almost certain. But for a coordinated group, the odds begin to change dramatically. When we analyze the biomechanics of a potential pack hunt, a sophisticated and brutal strategy emerges. The key would be teamwork and specialization, leveraging the different strengths of the pack members, much like we see in wolf packs or lion prides today. A hunt would not begin with a rash, headlong charge. It would start with observation, with the pack identifying a vulnerability. Perhaps an individual is young and inexperienced, old and infirm, or has become dangerously isolated from the protection of the herd. Once a target is selected, the attack would be a carefully orchestrated affair. The smaller, more agile members of the Allosaurus pack, likely the juveniles we see represented in the fossil quarry, would play the crucial role of harassment. They would dart in from multiple angles, testing the giant's defenses, forcing it to turn and react, sowing confusion and burning its energy. Their goal isn't to inflict a killing blow, but to distract and disorient, to create an opening for the heavy hitters. As the sauropod becomes panicked and exhausted, the larger, more powerful adults would launch the primary assault. This is where the unique anatomy of Allosaurus becomes central to the strategy. Unlike Tyrannosaurus rex, which evolved a bone-crushing bite, Allosaurus had a comparatively weak bite force for its size. However, its skull was incredibly strong against vertical stress, and its neck muscles were powerful. When we combine these traits with its serrated, blade-like teeth, we see an animal built not for a single, final chomp, but for a devastatingly effective slash-and-tear attack. The strategy would involve a series of rapid hit-and-run strikes. An adult Allosaurus could drive its upper jaw into the flank of the sauropod and then use its powerful neck muscles to pull back, carving out a massive, bleeding gash. A coordinated assault by several adults could inflict numerous deep wounds in a matter of moments. The pack would then likely retreat to a safe distance. They would not need to engage in a prolonged, dangerous brawl. The work was already done. Their combined attack has turned the sauropod's immense size into a liability. Its massive heart would struggle to pump blood through its vast body, now compromised by multiple grievous injuries. The pack would simply follow, patient and persistent, waiting for shock and blood loss to inevitably bring the titan down. This model of cooperative hunting is not just speculation, it is a hypothesis deeply rooted in the biomechanical evidence of the predator and the ecological reality of its prey. It paints a picture of Allosaurus as a far more complex and intelligent hunter than previously imagined, one whose greatest weapon was not its claws or its teeth, but its ability to work as one. This model of a coordinated hunt is a powerful theory, one that aligns perfectly with the ecological pressures of the Jurassic. But for it to move from plausible hypothesis to accepted reality, we must find its echoes in the stone itself. The fossil record is notoriously fragmentary, preserving behavior only through rare and extraordinary circumstance. And yet, when we look closely, the footprints of these ancient interactions begin to appear. Some of the most compelling clues come not from bones, but from the tracks these animals left behind in the soft Jurassic mud, now hardened into rock. Across the Morrison Formation, paleontologists have discovered multiple parallel trackways of large theropods, all moving in the same direction, at the same speed. While these do not capture a hunt in progress, they are direct evidence of group movement. A solitary, territorial predator does not travel in formation. These fossilized paths tell a clear story of multiple individuals moving together, a procession of hunters on the move, a band traversing its domain. The second line of physical evidence comes from the bones of the prey. Fossilized remains of sauropods and other large herbivores sometimes bear the telltale marks of an Allosaurus attack. Long, deep gouges and punctures consistent with their serrated teeth. A single set of bite marks on a skeleton proves an encounter, but it cannot prove a pack. The true smoking gun would be the remains of a single large herbivore bearing the distinct bite marks from multiple Allosaurus individuals of different sizes. While such a perfect fossil is yet to be found, the existing evidence is highly suggestive. The sheer number of Allosaurus remains at sites like Cleveland-Lloyd, combined with the immense challenge of hunting adult sauropods, forces us to reevaluate our traditional view. The solitary hunter model begins to look insufficient to explain the data we now possess. So, what is the final verdict on the social life of Allosaurus? The evidence does not allow for a simple yes or no. It points toward a more complex and flexible social structure. It's highly probable that these carnivores were, at the very least, gregarious, congregating at kills or water sources, much like modern crocodiles. The trackways suggest they moved in groups, and the ecological necessity implies that cooperative hunting was a key strategy for tackling the largest prey. Rather than a tightly organized wolf-like pack, perhaps Allosaurus formed opportunistic, shifting coalitions, family groups, or temporary alliances that gave them the critical advantage needed to survive in a world of giants. The lone hunter is a powerful image, but the portrait that emerges from the fossil record is of a more calculated, cooperative, and ultimately more successful predator. From scattered bones in a Utah quarry and faint tracks in ancient mud, a complex narrative of cooperation and survival emerges. The story of Allosaurus reminds us that the lost world of the dinosaurs was governed by the same fundamental rules that shape life today: the intricate dance between predator and prey, the evolutionary pressure to adapt, and the profound, often hidden, connections that bind living things together in the grand tapestry of an ecosystem.